You're listening to the Hazy Radio Network, the station that rocks.
Find that something that puts our lives at ease. We're praying that God would give us the answer to His quiz. We're trying to bring some light in our own innocent way, and if the light's not bright enough, ourselves at the end of each day. Nobody's wrong, nobody's right. It's just the way things are. We just forget once in a while to look up at our own star. If we try to understand love without conditions, nobody's wrong and nobody's right. We're all givers of light. I know you're tired, just stop a moment. The answer is in your heart. You just be true to yourself and live your life as who you really are. We need not to pretend. We need no made-up vows. The only vow we ever need, we make with love within our own heart. Nobody's wrong and nobody's right. It's just the way things are. We just forget once in a while to look up at our own star. And if we try to understand love without conditions, nobody's wrong and nobody's right. We're all givers of light. We can all give
Welcome back to the Rock and Roll Psychic Radio Show with your host, Andrew Brewer.
Welcome back, everybody, to Rock and Roll Psychic Radio. Tonight, I love tonight. psychic peeps, actor peeps, same peeps. So, I want to thank once again our guest in the first hour, Laura.Powers, and mutual friends, all in our own little, whatever. I want to talk about my guest in the second hour. I love this woman. Love her. She is an actress, amazing actress. She's beautiful. Oh my God, really beautiful. She's psychic as hell. It seems, I think, kind of greedy, really, when you think about it. But that's okay. And the other beauty, there's a lot of things I really like about Megan. And so I've known Megan a long time, and there's just some people that you just kind of, you like. Well, Megan's one of those people for me. So, I know, they go, God, you get the weirdest of intros, dude. You want the strangest. But that's okay. They're actresses. They can hang with it. The beauty about Megan is that she has this bubbly, oh hi, when she wants to. But she's a badass, man. She got one from each food group. And so she has this really interesting kind of integrated power, I think. So, again, professional actress, lives in Hollywood, lives in Los Angeles, professional model, professional dancer, professional psychic, probably 12 other things too. And whatever the soul connection is that the three of us have is, I think, kind of entertaining because each, in a lot of ways, there's a similarity, I think, to all three of us. And kind of, probably in a way, I feel more of that connection with Megan because I know Megan better. But that dynamic, and I want to pick Megan's brain a bit about a lot of things. I want to talk about how she integrates this. I want to talk about some things that I talk about with Laura, about how she deals with the attention she must get. I want to talk, last time Megan was on, we talked about things like law of attraction and alignment, and I think that's also a fun conversation to have. But above and beyond that, I just want to kind of be in Megan Lane's space, because that's a good space to be. So, again, I know I give the weirdest intros ever, but what can I say? So with that, our guest for the second hour, the lovely, vivacious, really lovely, really vivacious, Zita, not that you aren't, because you are too, and Scott Hare. You define lovely and vivacious if you're listening.
He's the poster boy for lovely and vivacious.
So, Megan Lane. Megan, I know that you love me and you're used to me, so I apologize for my intro, but how are you?
Hi, guys. No, I love your weird intros. It makes me sound so fabulous on paper.
You are fabulous. You're God. I don't have to make you sound. I'm just trying to impart some essence of Megan Lane-ness. That's what I'm trying to do. So there's not a way for me to really do that other than just, like it's like the blind man and the elephant. I try to take a little bit of this, a little bit of that. She's this, she's that, she's something else. Oh, here she goes. I just let her talk. So, how are you?
I'm so good. I'm so excited to be back. I love, love, love being on the radio. It was one of my dreams. You know how when you're a kid, I think, speaking of past lives, when you're a kid, you have like a million things you want to be. And one of the things I always wanted to do was be a co-host on a radio show with like really sassy and I didn't really want to do that forever, but now I get to be on radio shows as a guest, as a piece of things. So a lot of my like dreams have come true and have multiple dreams that are coexisting, and that's really bizarre because you think you can be one thing. We're taught to be one thing. And really, like you and Laura were talking earlier, I think the most interesting people are people who are multifaceted.
Yeah, I think that that's true. That's one of the reasons I wanted you two together, was I think that you present a very interesting dynamic in that, you blend things that lots of people don't see as blending. To me, they're really the epitome of the way it should go, that the artist and the intuitive are the same, right? But you exhibit those things in ways that maybe the average person's expectations, they may not go there so easily. And you throw in what you look like, it just totally blows it up, which I love.
People aren't used to that. I even had a client today, who was a client a couple of days ago, came in, and they'd read all my reviews on Yelp. I'm usually one of the top 3 in Los Angeles on Yelp, sometimes the top 5, almost always the top 5. And on there, I'm Megan LaFay, just so people, in case they're looking for me, it's Tarot by Megan LaFay. I started my business name when I was tarot card reader, but hadn't necessarily owned up to the psychic title yet. But Megan LaFay means the seer or the psychic in French. So it's like I keep them kind of separate. Megan Lane's my actress name, but for this purpose, of course, like I believe in integrating somewhat. So if you're looking for me, it's Tarot by Megan LaFay. But she'd read all my reviews, and she came in, and she sat down, and she crossed her arms and looked at me skeptically and goes, "You're young." like it was accusatory. And I'm like, yes, but I'm older than I look, and I'm an old soul. She's like, well, all right. It's interesting. They expect the old witch archetype.
I'm no more psychic now than I was when I was 24. The difference, of course, and there's a huge difference, and I'm a lot calmer, and I have a lot of experience, and just in general, I can put things into context I couldn't, when I was 24 years old. But as far as flat out, do I see anything any differently than I did when I was 24? I don't think so. So there's lots of ways to relate to people, and as an actress, there's a way that you relate to people, and the way you relate to characterization. All those things give you an insight into how people think and how they operate and what motivates them. But I want to go down with you before we get too far, because it's a conversation you and I have a lot. We're going to talk about reincarnation, because I talked about this a little bit earlier with Laura. What is your take on past lives and reincarnation? We all have our theories. I'm curious what your theory is. How do you see them functionally? How do they work, do you think?
Well, when I discovered reincarnation, when I really delved into it, was in college, because my old belief system just wasn't fitting anymore, and I was feeling very lost. So being the seeker and the curious thing that I am, I took a lot of classes in college that were very weird, different religious studies and weird paranormal classes and stuff. And when I came to reincarnation, something in me clicked. It just was like, this makes sense to me. This feels right. This feels like the truth. It resonated with me deeply and it explained so many things for me. So, and I agree with you and Laura. I believe that you can have parallel lives and split lives, and the older the soul, the more you can split. That has made a lot. I've kind of figured that out in the last couple of years. A lot of psychics are seeing this now, and that explains a lot too. But just as far as like the traditional way we think about past lives, absolutely, I believe in them. I think as children we have a lot of past life carryover memories. Some more pleasant than others. Like I remember as a kid being very confused as to where a lot of like the mythological creatures were. I remember being genuinely confused because I remembered being around them. Because Laura and I have talked about, this is going to be real weird, but a lot of us are incarnated other beings too. We're not just human. We've got paths of being fairy or other weird things incarnate, and I'm definitely elemental. So like I had strong memories from that as a kid, and I was very confused about that. And my parents make fun of me because I was furious that I was not of royal blood, and it wasn't like Disney princess, like, oh, I'm a princess and I'm pretty and I wear pink. It was like, where is our crest? What do you mean? I've been born into the wrong family. How dare you all? This is not funny at all. I was furious, and they thought it was really funny because I was like 3 years old, and I had no reason to feel angry about that. They were going to have my godfather, my ordained godfather, explain it to me how I'm not a royalty, because I was furious with them.
So I'm going to stop, because I'm going to get down a really interesting rabbit hole with you right now. And the reason I'm stopping you is not because you said the stuff about royalty. It's because you said you're 3 years old. All right? Now, some of us, when we're 2 and 3 years old, we remember stuff. We don't know what the hell it is, but we remember things. We have instincts. We look around and go, pardon me, this isn't right. And I don't think that that's delusional. For young children who lock into that, I mean, I get military stuff. I'm like, excuse me, I need to go to the West Point version of your world. I need to go. So, as a young girl, having this, again, what I always say, foot in two worlds at the same time, what was that like for you? Because I remember what it was like for me, and it never left me. It kind of, faded sometimes, but that sense of what I saw as a 2-year-old, I had pictures of me from kindergarten that I drew uniforms on my photos. I saw them. Because I go, well, I don't look right. I need one of these and one of these.